What's up, everyone? Welcome into the Ortho Arizona Recruiting Roundup. I'm Claudia Collins alongside Cody Cameron, and it is here. We finally did it. Week one of big school football is behind us, which means we're in the thick of it, and we get to do this every week with fresh and exciting content. So, we were both out at games this last Friday night. I went out to Williams Field hosting Corona del Sol. They had a dominant 48-20 win over the Aztecs, and a lot of that is led by the leadership on the O line. Cody, I know you've been following this whole offensive line leading into the season. First guy I want to talk about is Malachi Joyner. He's committed to Arizona, a program he said that he's wanted to be a part of since he was a kid or has enjoyed watching since he was a kid. So, why is Arizona a good fit for him?
I think it's a great fit because he's one of the top players in the state. So naturally, right, when you're talking about his frame and his film last year as a junior was really, really good. I think it's a great fit for, especially for that offense. It'd be a great fit for any program. When you talk to Coach Campbell about these guys, he's so high on Malachi Joyner because I think he could do so many different things on that offensive line. And so I think for the fit, once again, going down to Tucson, which we've seen recruit the Valley very, very well. I think it's perfect.
Yeah, he says it's the first school to make an offer, and that's really what went a long way for him, as well as the coaching staff. But here's more from Malachi himself.
They're the first school to take a shot on me, so I really appreciate that. And Coach Oglesby, I love that guy. He acts like an uncle to me, calls me all the time, checks up on me. I've seen what they do with some of the O linemen down at U of A. They had 2 first-round drafts in the last 2 years, so that was just some of the stuff.
All right, let's just keep moving down the O line. Now, Omar Kaba, another guy that you put on my radar, he's committed to Idaho. He says this is a program that has treated him like family since the beginning, and it's player led and coach fed, and that is what sealed the deal for him.
Just like the environment, how they explained it to me, how it's player led, coach fed. That was really interesting.
And Claudia, there's a lot of Arizona ties with that Idaho staff. Coach Ford, their head football coach, he's a longtime state of Arizona recruiter. He's a tremendous individual too. And then our very own Andrew Morgan, he's working and recruiting there full time. He does a great job of identifying talent. That's exactly did with Omar. And I want to move it over now to Colin Campbell. We've talked about Colin Campbell now a couple of times on this show. He's one of the best offensive linemen in the entire state. He's ultra athletic. I mean, you can see that on his film, the way he works into the second level and works in space. But also, I just think these are great people too. They are great leaders for Williamsfield.
What I like about Colin and this commitment is that his older brother said that as soon as he came back from this visit, he could tell he was going to be committing to the Spartans. He was smiling the whole time. He said he didn't even know it then, but his brother did. And that was really the sign that made it clear to him. Another thing, just the bond on this O line is really, really strong. And that just shows right here when these two guys talk about being a part of each other's recruitment.
When Omar got his first offer, we were in the weight room actually, and we were just like, it was Montana, and they came in and they offered me Malachi, and then they pulled Omar aside, and Omar got offered, but we didn't know yet. And my dad, the coach, he was like, he pointed at me, he's like, offer, right? He's offered. So then, literally the entire weight room, we all just came in there, we were all running after him, and we're all like jumping on him, and it was just, that was awesome.
I'm really grateful for my teammates to help me support.
And to wrap things up, Claudia, I also went to a game. I went out to Mesa High School to watch the Jackrabbits play Shadow Ridge. It was an amazing environment. Coach Jeremy Hathcock, in his first game at Mesa, he brought back the haka, which I think is an amazing tradition, especially with all the Polynesian football players there on that team. But one of the 2027 receivers that people need to know, Cameron Williams. He was electrifying out there. And what I liked about Cameron is he did so many different things. It wasn't just like he was running 9 routes and post deep routes too. He really did a really good job of finding in space and zones for his quarterback. And then you got to see the athleticism and the burners, what we call the yak, the yards after catch. That was on full display. Cameron Williams picked up a Division I offer from NAU this past offseason. And I think when you look at his size and as he puts more tape together, this is a kid that could really blossom into a pretty strong recruit. So Cameron Williams, Arizona, the state of Arizona, you got to be put on notice about this kid.
And that does it for this edition of the Ortho Arizona Recruiting Roundup. For more recruiting news, you can always head to sports360az.com.